The simulation ended. Liz Harmon pulled off her neural helmet and blinked at the harsh white lights of the training chamber. Sweat ran down her neck. Her heart still raced from the virtual battle. "Cadet Harmon," said Colonel Vance. He stood rigid by the exit door, tablet in hand. His face showed nothing. "Your squad's performance was unacceptable." Liz stood at attention. "Sir, we completed the mission objectives by ignoring standard protocols." Vance's voice stayed flat. "You split your forces when direct engagement was ordered. The enemy had superior numbers, sir. We adapted. You failed." Vance tapped his tablet. "Report to Sector 7 for reassessment tomorrow." Liz watched him leave. Something felt wrong. Their tactics had worked perfectly. They had saved most of their squad, while other teams lost everyone. The training room door hissed shut behind Vance. Liz grabbed her gear bag and stepped into the corridor. The metal walls of Orbital Defense Academy stretched ahead, curved slightly with the station's shape. Red warning lights flashed suddenly. Liz froze. "System diagnostic in progress," announced the station AI. "Please continue normal operations." Strange. Diagnostics were scheduled for rest periods, never during active training hours. Liz headed toward the cadet quarters. She passed two instructors talking in low voices. They stopped when they saw her. "Cadet," said Major Wells, "why aren't you in your assigned area?" "Just finished simulation training, sir." "Heading to quarters." Wells stared at her too long before responding. "Proceed." As Liz walked away, she heard them resume talking. Their words sounded odd, with strange pauses between syllables. In the mess hall, Liz found her squadmate Ben Cruz sitting alone. "We failed too?" Ben asked when she sat down. "Apparently." Liz kept her voice low. "Did you notice anything weird about the instructors today?" Ben nodded. "Captain Rivera kept repeating the same phrase during our debrief. Like he forgot he already said it." The station lights dimmed suddenly. Emergency backups kicked on with a low hum. "Power fluctuation detected," said the AI. "Standby mode activated." Cadets looked up from their meals, confused. This never happened. Liz's tablet beeped. A message from Jack Mercer, another squadmate. "Meet me in maintenance shaft 12. Found something. I need to go." Liz told Ben. She hurried through corridors that grew increasingly empty. The station felt wrong. Too quiet. At maintenance shaft 12, Jack waited, his face pale. "Look at this." He showed her his tablet. The screen displayed security footage of the instructor's wing. Colonel Vance stood with 5 other officers in a circle. Their movements looked mechanical synchronized. When Vance spoke, the others responded in perfect unison. "That's not normal," Liz whispered. "There's more." Jack swiped to another video. The instructors alone in a restricted area, speaking in sounds Liz had never heard before. A station-wide alarm blared. Red emergency lights bathed the corridor. "Attention all personnel," announced the AI. "Station lockdown initiated. External communication suspended. Remain in current locations." Jack grabbed Liz's arm. "Earth Command always notifies before lockdowns." Liz felt cold fear spread through her chest. "Try calling anyone off station." Jack tapped his tablet frantically. Nothing. All signals blocked. The maintenance shaft door slid open. Colonel Vance stood there, eyes fixed on them. "Cadets," he said in that same flat voice, "you are in violation of lockdown protocol." Behind him, 2 security officers raised their weapons. "Run!" Jack shoved Liz toward the maintenance tunnel. They sprinted down the narrow metal passage, his footsteps pounded behind them. A stun blast hit the wall beside Liz's head. The metal sizzled. She ducked and kept moving. "Left here," Jack gasped. He punched a code into a side panel. A hidden door slid open. They squeezed through into a dark service corridor. Jack sealed the door behind them. The space smelled of machine oil and burnt circuitry. "What's happening?" Liz whispered. Her hands shook as she checked her tablet. Not sure, but I found something else. Jack pulled up more files. Every cadet who failed today used non-standard tactics. Every single one. Liz leaned against the cold wall. That can't be random. A message flashed on her tablet. From Ben. Where are you? Security looking for you. They moved through the service tunnels, avoiding main corridors. The station's emergency lights cast everything in blood-red shadows. Distant alarms kept wailing. At junction point 47, they found Cadet Maya Ortiz hiding. Her uniform was torn at the shoulder. They tried to take me to special assessment, Maya said. Her voice trembled. I ran when I saw their eyes. All blank, like they weren't really there. Jack checked his tablet again. Power's being rerouted to Sector 9. That's the long-range communication array. Can you access the security feeds? Liz asked. Jack's fingers flew across the screen. Got it. Look, the video showed Colonel Vance and 5 other instructors in the communication center. They moved in perfect sync, adjusting controls and typing commands. What's that noise? Maya asked. A strange sound came from the tablet speakers. High-pitched, rhythmic pulses that made Liz's teeth hurt. It's a signal, Jack said. They're sending something out. The tablet screen suddenly filled with static. When it cleared, they saw the instructors gathered around a holographic display of the solar system. A blinking light pulsed near Saturn. They're receiving something too, Liz said. The station lights flickered. Air vents sputtered and stopped, then started again with a metallic groan. Life support is glitching, Jack said. We need to move. They crawled through a ventilation shaft that led to the cadet quarters. The metal was hot against their hands. Something was overheating in the station systems. In the empty mess hall, they found 3 more failed cadets hiding. Ben, Zoe, and Raj all had similar stories. Zoe nodded. Same here. We used a flanking maneuver instead of the standard approach. Liz felt a chill. They don't like what they can't predict. Jack connected his tablet to a wall terminal. I'm going to try something. The screens around them flickered to life. Security feeds from all over the station played at once. In each one, instructors and security personnel moved with the same stiff, synchronized motions. Look at their neural implants, Ben pointed. The small devices behind each instructor's ear glowed with an unnatural blue light. Standard issue for all veteran officers, Maya said. Jack zoomed in on Colonel Vance. The colonel's mouth moved, but the sounds weren't human language. The same strange pulses they heard earlier. Suddenly, all the screens went black. A single message appeared. We're trapped, Zoe whispered. The ventilation fans stopped. The air grew still and hot. Through the small window in the door, they saw Colonel Vance approaching. Behind him marched 20 security officers, weapons raised, eyes empty. The kitchen, Liz hissed. There's a service exit. They rushed through the serving area as the main door shuddered under heavy impacts. Metal dented inward with each blow. Raj yanked open a floor panel. Down here. One by one, they dropped into a narrow maintenance tunnel. The space barely fit their bodies. The smell of grease and burnt wiring filled their lungs. Above them, the mess hall doors burst open. Heavy boots stomped across the floor. Crawl, Liz whispered. Don't stop. They moved through the dark tunnel on hands and knees. The metal grating cut into their palms. Behind them, someone shouted orders in that strange, broken language. Jack checked his tablet as they crawled. Life support is failing in sections all over the station. They're redirecting power to the communication array. Why? Ben asked. Whatever's controlling them needs to send a stronger signal, Liz said. They reached a junction point. 3 tunnels branched off in different directions. Where to? Maya asked. Liz thought fast. The neural lab. If the implants are the connection point, we need to understand how they work. The neural lab was 6 levels down. They moved through maintenance shafts and emergency ladders. Twice they froze as controlled personnel marched past, just meters away. The station groaned around them. Pipes leaked steam. Lights flickered and died. The air grew thin and hot. The station is dying, Zoe said. They reached the neural lab. The door was locked. Jack connected his tablet to the access panel and bypassed the security. Inside, screens displayed brain scans and neural patterns. One wall showed a large diagram of the standard officer implant. Look at this. Raj pointed to a screen showing live data feeds. These are the instructor's neural patterns. The patterns pulsed with the same rhythm as the strange signal. Jack accessed the main computer. The implants were designed to enhance tactical thinking, but they also receive and transmit data. A backdoor, Liz said. Something found a way in. Maya studied another screen. Earth Defense Command still isn't responding to any signals. They might be compromised too, Ben said. The station shook suddenly. A distant explosion echoed through the walls. What was that? Zoe asked. Jack checked the station schematics. Docking Bay 3 just decompressed. Something's trying to get in. Liz moved to the main console. We need to understand why they targeted us specifically. She pulled up their simulation results. All the failed cadets had one thing in common: unpredictable tactics that deviated from standard protocols. The alien intelligence, she said. It can predict standard tactics because that's what the neural implants were programmed with. But our methods were different. It can't control what it can't predict, Jack realized. Another explosion rocked the station. Closer this time. We need to reach the communication hub, Liz said. Cut off the signal at its source. That's suicide, Raj argued. The hub is crawling with controlled security. We use our failed tactics, Liz said. The ones they couldn't predict. The lab door suddenly melted from intense heat. The metal bubbled and ran like water. Colonel Vance stepped through the molten opening. His uniform was singed. The neural implant behind his ear glowed bright blue. In his hand, he held a plasma cutter, its tip still white-hot. Cadets, he said in that flat voice. The signal requires your neural tissue. Behind him stood a line of security officers. Their eyes were empty, their weapons pointed forward. Now, Liz whispered. Jack hit a button on his tablet. The sprinkler system activated, drenching everyone. The controlled officers paused in confusion. In that moment, the cadets attacked. Liz tackled Colonel Vance at the knees. The plasma cutter flew from his hand and skidded across the wet floor. Vance fell hard, but recovered with inhuman speed. Zoe and Ben grabbed fire extinguishers from the wall. White foam blasted into the faces of the security officers. They fired blindly. Energy bolts hit walls and equipment. The back exit. Raj shouted. Maya slammed her palm on an emergency panel. A hidden door slid open. Jack grabbed Liz's arm and pulled her away from Vance. They ran through the door into a narrow corridor. Behind them, the controlled officers wiped foam from their eyes and gave chase. Split up, Liz ordered, just like our simulation. They can't track multiple targets. The cadets broke into 3 teams. Liz and Jack went left. Maya and Raj went right. Ben and Zoe took the center path. Liz heard the security team hesitate at the junction. Their programming couldn't decide which group to follow. It's working, Jack said as they ran. They reached the maintenance elevator. Jack pried open the doors. No car waited, just the empty shaft. Climb, Liz said. They grabbed the service ladder and started up. The shaft was dark, except for emergency lights that pulsed red every few meters. The communication hub is 4 levels up, Jack said between breaths. A door opened below them. Controlled officers peered into the shaft. Weapons fired. Energy bolts hit the metal walls around them. Liz climbed faster. Her muscles burned. Sweat dripped into her eyes. They reached level 12. Jack forced the doors open, and they tumbled into a corridor. "This way," Liz said. The corridor led to a security checkpoint. Behind the reinforced glass, they saw the communication hub. Inside, instructors worked at control panels. A massive holographic display showed the solar system. A red dot pulsed near Saturn. "There's the source," Jack pointed. "A ship hiding in Saturn's rings." "How do we get past security?" Liz asked. Jack pulled something from his pocket, a small device he'd taken from the neural lab. Neural disruptor. Short range, but it might confuse them long enough. The station shook violently. Warning lights flashed. The AI voice sounded throughout the station. "Hull breach detected in sectors 7 through 9. Emergency protocols activated." "They're attacking the station?" Liz realized. Through a viewport, she saw small craft swarming around the academy. Their designs were unlike any human ship. They fired energy weapons that cut through the station's outer hull. "Now or never," Jack said. They approached the checkpoint. 2 controlled security officers stood guard. Jack activated the disruptor. The officers froze, their implants flickering. Liz grabbed a weapon from the first guard. She fired at the control panel. The door to the communication hub slid open. Inside, the instructors turned as one. Their movements were synchronized, puppet-like. "Stop them," Colonel Vance ordered. His voice had changed multiple tones layered together, inhuman. Jack rushed to a control panel. "Cover me." Liz fired the weapon. Stun blasts hit 2 instructors. They fell, but others advanced. Jack's fingers flew across the controls. "I'm sending a countersignal. If I can disrupt their connection." An explosion rocked the hub. Part of the ceiling collapsed. Through the gap, Liz saw the black of space and the flashes of weapons fire. Maya and Raj burst through a side door, followed by Ben and Zoe. All 4 looked battered but determined. "We found something," Maya shouted over the alarms. "The prototype weapon in Sector 15. It's designed to target ships hiding in planetary rings." Colonel Vance lunged at Jack. Liz fired, but missed. Vance grabbed Jack by the throat. "The signal must continue," Vance said in that layered voice. "Earth's defense codes will be ours." Jack struggled, his face turning red. His tablet fell to the floor. Screen cracked, but still functioning. Liz dove for the tablet. On the screen, she saw the counter-signal program, ready to activate. She hit the button. Every instructor in the room screamed at once. They clutched their heads as the neural implants sparked and smoked. Colonel Vance released Jack and fell to his knees. Blood trickled from his ears. "What have you done?" He gasped, his voice human again, filled with pain and confusion. "Colonel," Liz knelt beside Vance, "the station is under attack. We need the prototype weapon." Vance blinked, disoriented. Blood ran from his nose. "Sector 15. Access code 7729 Alpha." The station rocked with another explosion. Through the broken ceiling, Liz saw alien ships circling like predators. "Jack, keep the counter-signal running," she ordered. "The rest of you, with me." They ran through burning corridors. Emergency bulkheads slammed shut behind them. The air thinned as life support systems failed. "How bad is it?" Liz asked Maya as they ran. The alien ships breached 3 sectors. They're heading for the central database. They reached Sector 15. The door was sealed tight. Liz punched in the access code. Nothing happened. "Power's out," Ben said. Raj pried open a panel and connected wires. The door slid open halfway, then stuck. They squeezed through the gap. Inside sat the prototype weapon, a massive cannon mounted on a swivel base. Its targeting system glowed blue in the dim urgency lighting. "I trained on this," Zoe said. She jumped into the operator's seat and activated the controls. A view screen lit up, showing Saturn's rings. The alien ship was visible, now a dark mass against the icy particles, its surface rippling like liquid metal. "Target locked," Zoe said. The weapon hummed as it charged. The sound built to a high-pitched whine. Liz's tablet beeped. Jack's face appeared on screen. "More ships detected. They're coming from the outer system." The station shook again. Metal groaned. Warning lights flashed red. "Fire now!" Liz shouted. Zoe hit the trigger. The weapon discharged with a blinding flash. The recoil shook the entire sector. On the view screen, they watched the energy beam streak across space. It hit the alien ship dead center. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ship's surface bubbled and warped. It broke apart in a silent explosion. The attacking ships around the station suddenly stopped firing. They drifted aimlessly. "The control signal is gone," Maya said. Liz's tablet beeped again. Jack's face appeared, grinning despite a bloody cut on his forehead. "It worked. The instructors are coming around." They made their way back to the communication hub. The corridors were filled with smoke and debris. Injured personnel lay against walls, dazed but alive. In the hub, Colonel Vance sat in a chair. His face was pale. The neural implant behind his ear had been removed, leaving a raw wound. "Cadet Harmon," he said when he saw Liz. His voice was weak. "Report. Alien force neutralized, sir. They were after Earth's defense codes." Vance nodded slowly. "Your tactics. They weren't in any manual. That's why they couldn't predict you." "We failed the simulation," Ben said. "No." Vance winced in pain. "We failed you. Our rigid thinking nearly cost us everything." The station's main lights flickered back on. The AI announced, "Earth Defense Command vessels approaching. Ada 3 minutes. Too late to help," Raj muttered. Liz looked around at her fellow cadets. Their uniforms were torn and bloody. Their faces showed exhaustion and shock. But they stood tall. "Field promotions for all of you," Vance said. "Effective immediately." A medical team arrived and took the colonel away on a stretcher. Many other instructors needed similar care. Some stared blankly at walls, their minds damaged by the forced neural connection. Later, on the observation deck, Liz watched Earth defense ships dock with the station. The immediate danger had passed, but the cost was high. Jack joined her at the viewport. "I ran a final sensor sweep," he said quietly. "There's something you should see." He handed her his tablet. The screen showed the outer solar system. Faint signals pulsed from multiple points beyond Neptune. "More of them?" Liz asked. Jack nodded. "And they're moving." Liz stared at the distant signals. The battle wasn't over. It had just begun.